In December of 1832, while the prophet Joseph Smith was continuing his work on the inspired translation of the Bible, he received a revelation about the meaning of the parable of the wheat and the tares, which the Lord himself had used in his teaching as recorded in the New Testament. A large group of people had gathered on the shore of the Sea of Galilee, so the Lord taught them in parables while sitting in a ship. Afterward, the disciples asked why he taught in parables. Part of the Master's response was the parable of the wheat and the tares, in which he taught that a farmer planted wheat in his field. During the night, an enemy came and planted seeds of tares, which look like wheat while they are growing but are poisonous. When the servants saw the tares growing among the wheat, they asked if they should pluck the tares out. The farmer told them to let the wheat and tares grow together until the harvest, in order to protect the wheat. Then the wheat would be gathered into the barn, and the tares gathered and burned. Though the Lord provided an explanation of the parables to his disciples in private shortly thereafter, he chose to reveal additional insight to the prophet Joseph, declaring that the field was the world. His original apostles planted the seed, but after they had fallen asleep or died, the adversary planted the tares to choke the wheat and drive the church into apostasy. Now, the Lord told Joseph, while the faith of his Latter-day Saints was weak, the tares and wheat would grow together until the harvest. A year later, the Lord revealed additional knowledge about this parable, telling Joseph that, "I must gather together my people, according to the parable of the wheat and the tares, that the wheat may be secured in the garners to possess eternal life, and be crowned with celestial glory when I shall come." What are the garners which will provide protection to the wheat and help us be crowned with celestial glory? Referring to Ammon's use of a similar parable in the Book of Mormon, Elder David A. Bednar of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles taught,
"Behold, the field was ripe, and blessed are ye, for ye did thrust in the sickle, and did reap with your might, yea, all the day long did ye labor. And behold the number of your sheaves, and they shall be gathered into the garners, that they are not wasted." The sheaves in this analogy represent newly baptized members of the church, and the garners are the holy temples. Elder Neal A. Maxwell explained, quote, "Clearly when we baptize, our eyes should gaze beyond the baptismal font to the holy temple. The great garner into which these sheaves should be gathered is the holy temple." Close quote.
As members of Latter-day Covenant Israel, we are to be gathered into the garners of the holy temple by receiving and keeping priesthood ordinances and covenants, including worshiping in the temple through gathering Israel on the other side of the veil, which you may do in just a few years. In this way, you can fulfill the Lord's command to stand in holy places and be not moved until the day of the Lord come.